Hi, everybody. It's Lydia with the Avanti Wellness Podcast and YouTube channel. So, today I have some interesting things to chat about based on what I've been doing and what I've been exposing myself to learning. So, first of all, I want to just share that today I went to a family member's, um, my cousin's husband passed away, and I just want to honor her and the family with my prayers and peace for this time in their lives. It's very challenging when you lose a family member, a loved one, really, I should say. They don't always have to be family. Loved ones can be really special too. So I just want to say that this is my second funeral that I've gone to um, since like the last 120 days. And funerals are always sad because you're always, feeling for the loss of the loved one and then the family who has to live with that loss. I know loss. I had a pretty big loss early in my life when I was in my 20s, and that was hard to navigate because it wasn't expected. And I just want to say that one thing that funerals do for me when I go to them are that they put things into perspective. And I just want to encourage people to live their lives to the fullest. We are not guaranteed anything in life, and we don't know when our time is up. And I just want to be living my life to the fullest and hopefully, be improving my life along this journey, my evolutionary health journey to wellness. And I hope to inspire others along the journey because I really enjoy doing this. And I hope that, these videos are just helping even one person, that brings me a sense of appreciation for the platform and the opportunity that I have to create these videos. So with that said, I just wanted to, acknowledge that that's where I just came from. So I want to talk about reducing inflammation with polyphenols in a polyphenol-rich diet. So I have been introduced to this podcast that I'm happy to share with y'all, so y'all can listen to it as well. It's called I found it on Spotify, so I don't know where it's at for any other places. But the name of the podcast is Zoe Science and Nutrition. And Zoe is a company. I haven't done a lot of research, but from what I understand from the ads that are coming through on my Instagram and my Facebook, is that Zoe is a company that has created those things where you go and you put a continuous glucose continuous monitor. I think it's called a CGM on your body, and you record how foods spike your glucose after you eat them. Everybody's body's different. I actually want to get one of those, and I was researching all the different companies, and just because I love the podcast, I think I'm going to reach out to Zoe. And apparently I'm really curious about like the foods that I do think are good for me that might be my choices in my diet. I definitely want to see if I think that, I'm just going to say something like, if I think that an apple or a peach is good for me, I want to see what it does to my glucose. And so I can create a list of foods that, my body does not get a spike in glucose every time I eat something. So I'm working on that. Okay. So this morning I started listening while I was getting ready to some of their podcasts, and I listened to Inflammation, Aging, and Disease. What's food got to do with it? And it was a really good podcast. I'll probably listen to it again. But basically, they talked about that inflammation is, has so much to do with so many challenges that we face in our health. And one of the, even like depression, for instance, is, and this is matching with some other podcast and information that I've been listening to lately. So it's kind of like everyone's kind of saying the same thing. And so it's good for me to learn about it as well for myself and anyone else that I can share this information with, that it can help. And I know that when you're overweight, it's a big inflammation response. In fact, sometimes certain areas of the body are tender when squeezing on them, and that means that there's inflammation there. So I wanted to just talk about that, and I'm going to do research and find out all the ways what are all the foods with polyphenols in them. I know some of the things I'm doing right now are incorporating new polyphenols into my diet, which I wasn't doing 120 days ago. One of them is something I talk about often, is the MCT wellness. And right here on the product, it says supports production of ketones for more energy, C8, MCT, and polyphenols to support brain health. Well, that's not all polyphenols do. They don't just support brain health, although they've been linked to good brain health, but they're also linked to helping with anti-inflammation. So if you have inflammation, having polyphenols in your diet and having a diet rich in polyphenols is going to be helpful. So I've been listening to some of the Dr. Gundry podcast as well, and he was talking about running into Dr. Oz, who had that TV show, and he was sharing on the podcast that he basically just told Dr. Oz, the whole point of eating is to get olive oil into your diet. And so I guess he's just determined that the polyphenols in olive oil are, some of the most powerful polyphenols that you can get. And, of course, he has an olive oil product that I've purchased and experienced. And it's, I think it's 30 times more powerful than a traditional polyphenol rich olive oil. And he explains in his videos why, because it has to do with where they were grown. I think Morocco is where the olive trees are. So anyway, while we're talking about this, this is my 18-ounce water bottle from Amazon. I have a link in my description. I'm going to make a drink right now while I'm talking to you, because I use a little funnel. This one's not a little one. Today I'm using a big one because my little one is getting cleaned. So I'll push that over to the side. So this is a powder for those of you who don't know. And I'm going to scoop out. This is actually my second drink of the day. This morning, it's like 2 o'clock. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And so at 10 o'clock, I was getting ready to leave for that funeral. And I made this. Just use a little funnel because I have a small mouth bottle. I shake it, make sure it gets all in there before I start shaking it up. This one's Raspberry Melody. You can see the color. Vibrant plum purple raspberry color in the water. And then I like to put vinegar, which we know from some previous conversations I've had that this is good for your gut to have vinegar in your gut. This is apple cider vinegar. This is probably about 2 tablespoons in this little cup here. It is 20 cc's. Oh, I'm not going to bend down and get that. Did it come back to me? Went under the table. Oh, it's over there. I'll get it later. All right. So then I shake this up, put my lid on it. These lids have a rubber seal, and it really keeps the lid on nice, and it becomes suction, has a suction on it. All right, so what I was going to say is I made some of this and drank it this morning, and then around 12:31 I had lunch, and now it's 3 and I'm kind of wanting something sweet. So this sometimes is a great resource for curbing my cravings and any kind of a sweet craving, a sweet tooth. This has stevia in it, and it tends to give me energy in the afternoon. Some people talk about, like, if they're at work, they go get a candy bar or something like that. This is a great alternative to needing something sugary or sweet in the afternoon, because you still have a couple hours before you're eating dinner and you need a little pick-me-up. This is good because it provides energy. The MCTs provide energy, and it's probably true too. I'll have to look it up, that polyphenols probably, if it's providing some brain health, might be helping with your energy level too. So takes a while to get all that dissolved, but it usually gets mixed up enough for me to have like at least a sip. That one's sour because I put a lot of apple cider vinegar in it. Okay, so I wanted to introduce the Zoe Health and Science podcast. The one about inflammation is a really powerful podcast, and I have a feeling like a lot of them are going to be powerful. I just started listening to them. I want to listen to the one about glucose because I see it. I also want to get one of those glucose monitors so I can see for myself what foods are doing. And I'm going to do some research on how to identify and find more polyphenol rich foods to eat as part of my diet so that I can decrease the inflammation in my body. But of course, I have to stop introducing foods and putting foods in my body that also cause inflammation. Otherwise, they'll be, like zeroing the effects out on each side, balancing it out. So it'd be kind of a waste, to still be eating inflammatory foods while not eating polyphenols. Did I say that right? Oh, well, still eating inflammatory foods while adding anti-inflammatory foods, then I'm not really getting very far. It's funny because when I hear these things, I just want to share that this whole health journey for some of us, a lot of people have it down, or they don't have issues, or maybe they don't have health problems, and some of the behaviors that they have are, like myself, going to eventually, if I don't change, cause health problems. I don't really have any major health issues right now. I have good blood pressure and good cholesterol, and I don't have diabetes. I'm just overweight and overinflamed, basically. And so I want to try to stop this pattern of where I'm headed before it causes a problem. So that's why I'm doing all this, personal research for myself to try to find it within myself, find my motivation inside of me to continue on the journey, because the journey gets challenging, to say the least. So polyphenols, I'm getting them through olive oil, through MCT Wellness. I have a link in my description that offers you a discount, and I am a affiliate of the Dr. Gundry program, but I bought it first, and then because I was going to be talking about it, I decided to go ahead and accept the opportunity to talk about it and share. So look into the Zoe podcast, look into the one about inflammation, anti-inflammatory foods. They did talk about ginger and garlic. And what I was going to say is, back in 2010, I worked with an Ayurveda specialist, and she told me to drink ginger tea and water every day. And I mean, she was boiling the ginger, so it wasn't like a dry powder or anything. It was boiling the ginger. It was, very efforting to do it. And now I understand why, that just drinking that, getting that ginger into your body can be anti-inflammatory for just all the body and the cells. So I've really got to create some additional new habits if I'm going to tackle this inflammation head on. And I was just thinking about how inflammation really matters. Like, it's a big part of, they talked about in the podcast, it can even be a contributor to weight gain, and it can be a contributor to depression, all of which, I've experienced in my lifetime. And I was just thinking about, like, when I was in high school, I was like 107 pounds. And then I started smoking and like playing around, like 15, 16. And I was just thinking about those toxins in the body, and then how the inflammation comes into the body to protect it from the toxins that you're bringing in. And I was just thinking about how that's kind of when I started gaining weight. And then I didn't quit smoking till I was 30. So I was challenged and suffered from my weight. But you know what? There's a lot of skinny people who are smokers. So I don't know. I don't really know that. I'm not saying that was the reason. I'm just trying to say that, I'm trying to make sense of all the science and the information that I've learned on the podcast, and then try to apply it to my life experience to say, oh, that's why that happened, or that's why I am the way that I am, or that's why I felt depressed, or, whatever. It's like you're trying to take this information and make it make sense for you in your life. That's what I'm doing. So hopefully this was helpful. Go check out that Zoe podcast and the Zoe lifestyle. And I did hear, when you listen to the podcast, it says go to joinzoe.com/podcast and you'll get 10% off. So I'm going to go check that out for myself. I really, really want to do the test and see what they would say about what foods I should eat based on my microbiome and everything. So the other book I always talk about, which is The Glucose Revolution, that author Jessie, she's the glucose goddess on Instagram. Apparently she was just on Good Morning America like earlier this week. But what I want to say about her is, she actually, at the end of her book, she recommended the Zoe brand for the CGM continuous glucose monitor. So that's another reason why, I feel like it's a trusted source. So I'm going to go do some research and look into that. So I hope that I had a question today, and I love comments on my videos. And as soon as I see them, I try to respond to them because I don't want them to get ahead of me and then get too many. So I'm really trying to keep up with all of that. So thank you for interacting with me, for listening to the videos. And I think last time I checked, let me see, I'm going to check while I'm online. While I'm on video, I had 99 subscribers yesterday. Let's see if I've hit my 100 mark because I want to celebrate.
90% of the
Hold on, sorry.
that
Stop.
make up.
Okay. Let me see. Somebody gave me a compliment today that felt so good. Okay, let's see where my subscribers are. I wanted to celebrate. It's still 99. So if you haven't subscribed, you can be 100 for me. I can't wait to get to 100. I'm going to make a graphic and celebrate. So tomorrow is the, what is 4 times or 5 times, 150 days. Let's see. July 12th, July, August, September, October, November, 5 months of doing this. So that's 150 days. So I have not reached my 30-pound mark yet. But it's not a race. It's a lifestyle, and I am continuing to learn along the way and learn new things. So things are shifting very quickly. The new things I've incorporated in the last 30 days are like all this fiber. I am eating so much fiber, whether it's like a fiber capsule, if I can't get a fiber food in first, but I'm following the Glucose Revolution, Jesse's suggestion about try to always eat fiber first and then the rest of your food. And so today I had a salad at a restaurant, it was a salad and it had salmon on the top and carrots and stuff. And so I kind of dug under the salmon and I was trying to eat the greens first, because she always says start your meal with maybe like a plate of greens or a little side salad. And I thought, okay, well, I'm going to get the greens in my stomach and get that processing before I bite into the salmon or take a bite of this egg. That's the protein, because she wants you to do fiber, protein, fats, and then your starches. So it's an effort. It's a decision, and I'm working on it, working towards it. Okay. Oh, I need to turn off my volume. All right. Take care, guys. Have a good day. I'll see you later. Bye. Thanks for listening. Subscribe if you haven't already. Bye.